God, there's so much that has happened.
There has been so much that has happened in the last barely 24 hours.
Barely.
Like obviously we had the Grammys. Obviously there's the Cowboy Carter tour announcement. Lady Gaga decided to not only drop a new single but a new music video as well in the middle of the award show.
Wow.
I'm overwhelmed.
I'm very overwhelmed. I'm like, girl, it's Monday.
It's Monday, and I was like, I am, like I put so much work into creating like 32 pre-made like Grammy things.
And let me tell you, I was explaining that to Brian, and he was just like, how does he know? Like, he's like, he's so fast. And I was like, oh, no. I said, they're already pre-made. I said, this is like a whole operation.
That whole operation, I logged at least 12 hours last week creating all of these. It was insane.
Yeah.
Every time, like I did like one like award at a time, and then like I did like one day and then one the next day, and by the time each time I was done, like my eyes were spiraling. I was
I'm
just
sure.
like, it was nuts. But like I was like, I am so content created out. I was like, I don't think I'm going to do memes for this. I wanted to record an episode instead.
I feel like it makes more sense, to be honest.
Yeah, because I feel like I personally love the Grammys. I've always loved the Grammys.
Right.
And I love award shows in general, but like the Grammys, being a music lover, has always been kind of like, it's like my Super Bowl, my Oscars, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, I was just like, I want to talk about it because I feel like it's going to be a good one. And I have to say, like, I don't feel like it disappointed at all.
At all. Wait, are we starting or are we?
Let's start.
Just started. Okay.
Let's just start. Welcome back to Homophonic, everybody. It's Zach, your host, and John Michael. DJ John Michael is here with us once again.
What's up?
We're just gonna talk about the Grammys. There's so much.
There's so much.
And so, like, I don't even know where to begin. Like, I feel like maybe we should just jump into the Grammys itself. And
yeah, I feel like the Grammys are top of mind right now.
Yeah. So to me, I'm just going to start off by saying that this was probably the best music award show, I'll say that, period, since 2009 VMAs.
100%. I'm actually really, really curious to see who are the people that produce this, because I said to Brian at some point, I was like, it's got to be women. There's got to be either women, or it's got to be gay people, or it's something. I said, but there's something is markedly different.
It was so well put together. I mean, last year's Grammys was pretty well put together too. I think what I really like is that I feel like they're realizing that who's watching the award shows. It is the girls and it is the gays, right?
Right.
So you have to get, and it's also a lot of like millennials, right? I'm not sure what like the Gen Z demographic is for award shows, but like we want to see our favorites, right?
Yeah.
We also want to see some of the new people too. And I feel like the last 2 years, but specifically this year, like really brought together a great blend of our favorite icons with the new up and comers. It was, I just like, I don't even know where to begin. Like,
well, because everybody really pulled their weight last night.
Yeah.
Like there was no performance, even if it was for songs that I didn't really care for or weren't my favorite artists, like they were still great performances. Like everything was done really well.
Really well. You know who blew my mind? And I know she's a good performer. I know that she's a great artist, but like, I feel like she stepped into a new level of stardom last night. First of all, with her Grammy win for Best Rap Album.
Yes. I knew you were going to say it.
But fuck.
She's
Doechii,
so good. She's so good.
That performance was insane.
Yeah.
Starting with like, I mean, that pose with her microphone behind her head.
Yeah.
And just like the costuming, the dancing, the posing, the camera angles. It was mind-blowing.
100%. There's just this is someone who has done her homework. Like it really, she's unbelievable. I love her so much.
Unbelievable. Like this is what I have been waiting for. I feel like shortly after the 2009 VMAs, we went through a long period where pop music became very much like, I don't want to say lazy or sloppy, but it felt that way. It was very much in like, we're going to do away with the tight choreography. We're going to do away with the super produced performances. And it's just going to be kind of like casual and free for all.
Right.
And I'm not blaming necessarily anyone, but the thing that comes to mind with that is like Miley's We Can't Stop performance from the like 2013 VMAs.
Hmm. Hmm.
That I think was like really what kind of started that trend or set that trend into a new level. And it felt so good to see these really tight performances last night and people really giving it their all and people having the star quality.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say. Like, there was something that was different last night was that the performances, I feel like, first of all, hold on. The best way that they've handled the best new artist category was how they did it last night and let everybody perform.
Yes.
That was fantastic because now you've really just given people a front row seat to a new artist, and
Yep.
that's what the Grammy should be about. I'm going to assume that that is part of the change that the president, Harvey Mason Jr., was talking about and how they listened to everybody and they diversified and did all this stuff. I feel like these are the effects that we're seeing, coincidentally, in a really good time for DEI in this country. But
Right.
it's, historically speaking, but it's, again, I think that that really has something to do with it. And
Yeah.
the influences of that were felt throughout the entire broadcast. But yeah, but handling the best new artist category that way was brilliant because you gave everybody the spotlight. And now you're introducing the next generation of hitmakers, basically. Because I feel like
Yes.
with best new artist before, like something would happen. Like, what was the year it was Esmeralda Spalding?
Oh yeah, that was like, gosh, that was a while ago. But yeah, like sometimes in the early 2000s, like
Right, but like,
2006 or something like that.
and I remember that was like the news cycle for weeks. Like, who is that? Who is that? And I'm like, what a depressing thing to have to sit through if you're this woman.
Right.
And it's like, because not only is that sort of an indictment of the marketing of your a failure of the marketing of your record label,
Right.
but also just like, I don't know, like it didn't feel like the Grammys did anything to set her up better.
Right.
Like, if she was
Exactly.
there and performed and had like this whole intro moment, I feel like that maybe would not have happened. So I really, really like that. And I think that having that, as well as like the spirit of the Grammys in general being about giving back, everything with the wildfires and all of that,
Hmm.
the stuff with showcasing the small businesses on the commercial breaks, do that
Yeah.
every year.
Every year, I say moving forward, this needs to happen with Best New Artist.
Yes.
The
Yes.
only reason why I don't want to see someone performing is because they're sick or they can't make it.
Right.
Like I want to see every new artist perform to give them that platform. I thought it was brilliant. It also really showed, back to your point about DEI, it showed the broad range of Best New Artists.
Right.
I was saying, I was watching this with my friends Jill and Davis last night, and I was like, we are, I mean, it's almost impossible to pick who's the best new
Right.
artist because everyone is so different. You had Doechii, you had Chapel Roan, you had Teddy Swims, you had Raye. Ray's performance was
Oh,
mind-blowing.
she's so good. I'm so mad
Her
that she wasn't Amy Winehouse in the movie. It's
come
so annoying. It's
on,
terrible.
right?
She really, it should have been her.
She really, really should have. That
But yeah, she's so
her
talented.
so talented, and her performance was amazing, her vocals, and it just, and I was saying too last night, so here's like going to be a slight controversial take, and it's not a knock against Raye at all,
Right.
but what I said to my friends Jill and Davis is that I said, what I loved, I was like, her performance was clearly incredible, and like her voice insane, she's an incredible songwriter, but I was like, we have been conditioned as music consumers to think that great singing like that is the only thing that matters. And what I loved so much about the presentation of Best New Artist last night is that you saw not only incredible singers like her or Teddy Swims, but you saw great rappers like Doechii who
Right.
can dance her fucking ass off and put on an incredible show. You had someone like Chapel Roan who practices drags, who also sings incredible. I mean, I
Oh
would say
yeah.
everyone sings great. Everyone is performing what, but you're seeing different performances. You're seeing different types of art.
Well,
And
because
I
I
was
think
like,
what you're seeing for the first time is that it looks like the culture looks like the community, you know,
mhm,
where it's like you can see like what everyone from all of these different places is bringing to the table and how it's making the whole so much better.
yeah, it was just absolutely spectacular. Blew my mind. And I was so happy for Doechii when she won Best
So
Rap
happy.
Album. That was, and for a moment there, I was like, it is just women winning awards tonight. Like I was like,
Right.
it is ladies' night, and I am so here for it. I was like, I don't want to see.
Yes.
There got to a point where I was like, I don't want to see a single man on stage.
Men found dead.
Like, I was like, I do not want to see a man get up on that stage. And then they
Right.
announced, I think it was Die With a Smile. So I was like, okay, I'll allow it because he's with
Right.
Gaga.
You need to have a female chaperone.
Exactly. Gaga looked incredible last night. All of her
Incredible.
outfits, like,
Love it.
she was just delivering
The California
everything.
Dreamin' performance was so good.
Oh my God.
Like seriously, like those two. Like I feel like when I look at the two of them, like I know Gaga had her thing with Tony Bennett, but I feel
Mhm.
like those two could sort of take that type of act to a Vegas or even on tour and do like a Stephen Eady kind of thing, or like a, Gaga and Tony Bennett kind of thing. Like there's just something about the two of them together that is phenomenal.
Absolutely. Like, they blew my mind. I will say, like, I need to, first of all, I know I need to get off Twitter. And the only reason why I'm on Twitter still is because of Pop Crave. And as
Right.
soon as Pop Crave,
I think they wait. I think they're on Threads.
Are they? They are on Threads.
I think so.
Okay, I need to.
I
Well,
think so.
I need to start using Threads more, and then I need to start using
Please,
Blue
Threads,
Sky more.
Blue Sky, right? Yeah, I just started getting into that too. I'm like, it's too many. There's too much. Is too many. I need to start paring back.
I know, right? So I need to start figuring out like what's going on here. But anyway, like there were rumors that were going on that they were going to be singing Earth Song. There were rumors that like Dolly and Miley and Beyonce were going to perform, and like there was a moment where like Beyonce was like out of her seat for a long time, so I was like, oh my God, is she getting ready? So I was like, I need to stay away from
I thought she was going to perform for a second. I thought her and Miley were going to perform. I was expecting that.
Yeah, especially when like he was like talking about like the surprise performance, or there was like a surprise performer happening throughout the night,
right.
And so I was like, ooh. But I mean, The Weeknd was the surprise performer. That was really great. I mean,
incredible. He just dropped a new album.
He did, and I have not listened to it yet. I have to listen to it. I took a quick. First of all, I want to congratulate him on like every song being like 5 minutes.
I have to say, I really like the album. I think it's really good. There's one song, I can't think of the name of it. I've only listened to it like once, like 1.5 times so far. So we're listening to the album here at home, my husband and I, and the songs are playing, and I'm like, oh, this is good. I love this. I like where we're going. It's sonically, it's fantastic. It's produced really well. And then we get to one song, and as soon as I'm like halfway into it, and I was like, this must be the Max Martin song. Like, it has to be.
Oh, I know what you're. Was it like
Open Hearts?
Open Hearts. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. It's everything I want in a Weeknd song is in that song. I love the two of them together. It's so good. The video is phenomenal if you haven't seen it.
And I noticed that he does a lot of transitions throughout the album.
Yeah. I definitely recommend it. I really, really do like it.
Yeah. Okay. I need to give it a listen. Yeah, his performance was incredible last night. And I made the comment, I was like, he's not going to get accused of witchcraft because he's a man. But I was like, if you put a woman in that same performance, people would be like, she's a witch. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, Weeknd was incredible. Phenomenal.
Excited. I would love to see him on tour. He's one of the people I've never seen on tour.
Yeah, he would be really good. And that's the thing. Like, I love, there's a lot of topic especially amongst gays, that there's like no exciting male pop stars. I understand that sentiment to a degree because it does feel like the women really do the most a lot, with the costume changes and the choreography and things like that. But like, as we saw last night, I mean, The Weeknd put on a really good theatrical performance. Like, that was incredible. All the dancers, all the lights.
Something tells me that this tour is going to be like the one to see, I feel like, for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is his last hurrah as The Weeknd, allegedly. Right. Allegedly. So, I mean, you never know with these people.
I mean, can you imagine he comes back and the artist formerly known as The Weeknd, I'm now The Weekday?
Oh my God.
That would be kind of genius.
That would be, yeah. I'm a huge fan of The Weekday. He's a new artist.
Best new artist category.
Oh my God. I wonder if that's like a loophole that you can do.
Can you imagine?
Like if he comes back, just like how do you say his last name? Tessafe?
I think so.
And like if he just comes back as Abel.
Chapel Roan comes back with like the glasses with the nose attached to it. And she's like, hey guys.
Hey, it's Kaylee.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Her performance was amazing.
So good. Like the energy.
I kind of wondered if it was a commentary on middle America at all. I know that she seems to love where she's from, but at the same time, like most people from the Midwest, at least queer people from the Midwest, like wrestle with that.
Hmm.
And so just noticing that everyone who's kind of who was dressed up in the performance, kind of like country, had a clown face on.
Right, right.
It just,
I feel like it was intentional.
right. Yeah. With her, someone like her, it does feel very intentional.
Yeah.
Her speech
Uh,
last night.
so, but you know what? And it's so funny. Like if when you start to see this more, you start to follow more people like in the industry, like that aren't just like the pop stars, and you start to follow the producers and like the songwriters, and they've been talking about this for so long, and it feels like they've been like yelling into the void. I feel
Yeah.
like last night with her speech was a huge moment for the
Mm-hmm.
songwriters and artists in general. But yeah, if you follow, there's Tiffany Red. She's a very big pop songwriter, and she's written lots of stuff for Rihanna and like a lot of different people.
Yeah.
She is always talking about this, and she's always on the crusade to sort of get better things for songwriters, and she's great. And she was the first person I thought of while Chappell Roan was speaking. And as soon as I went to her Instagram account, and she was like living. I'm like, see, this is good. Like we've got to get united, and the message has to get out there. But I was so happy.
Yes.
Yeah,
And it's because it's like, I feel like we've just been conditioned so much as a society, and it's not just within the music world, but it's just like in any job that we have to hustle, 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 sacrifice, 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 sacrifice. And don't get me wrong, there are certain types of hard work and certain types of sacrifice that, yes, like it does build character and it makes you really like really grind, right? And it really puts focus. But to her point last night, like being, and I love that she pointed out, I was signed as a minor and then
hmm,
dropped from my label. Like, what are you supposed to do with that?
right.
And with all the like, I mean, we've heard about this kind of stuff happening with like TLC and Tony Braxton, where there's so much like label advancement money that
Yep.
they give you, but then you have to pay it all back and then some, and then you're left with nothing. And then people are like, how are these people who are, Grammy Award nominated and multi-platinum selling superstars broke?
Right. And
Eh,
that's why, and to that point, that's why, like, so if you're ever on Spotify and you see like either songs from like the 80s, 90s, maybe even early 2000s, but it will catch up eventually. It sort of happens like within generations. Um, re-recorded versions or like it's usually like an artist that has a song that they didn't write, that they don't own the masters to, they're sort of re-recording like what Taylor's doing with her, with her catalog and stuff like that. But this
yeah.
has been going on for a long time, and it's been all of these artists trying to figure out how they can do the thing that they love and take care of themselves, because it's like you're up, you're down, and that's it, and you get left behind. It's really it's a rough industry.
Yeah. And so I was just really happy to hear her speak about that
Yeah.
and really talk about that, because and that's something that I think anyone can feel. I mean, that's
Oh,
relatable
for
to
sure.
every industry, is that companies just take advantage of working class citizens all the time. I mean, I there are so many companies that want you to do so much extra beyond
Right.
your job descriptions, and they want you to be a part of the culture, quote unquote. They want you to do all these trainings. They want you to do they want you to do all of these, like, go out and like volunteer and things like that. And they want you to be so, but it's like, at what point, I've always said, because in a lot of small businesses, not to like put down small businesses, but a lot of small businesses are very guilty of this by be like, we're a family, we're a family.
Right. Right.
There is nothing stopping you from firing me for literally no reason. And then what? We're not a family anymore.
Well, and you know what? And I used to say that all the time and be like, when you see how capitalism works, and I feel like we're really going off for a second, but
Mhm, right.
you see that how a company would do things that you wouldn't do to a family member. And I would say that all the time, but then I realized that I'm like, oh no, actually some of you would do this to a family member. Like that's
True.
actually, like that's actually just who you are. And that's a whole different story.
Yeah, very true. Very
Right,
true.
right.
But yeah, so I was really happy for her. So happy she won Best New Artist. I thought that was
Yeah.
so
I
deserved.
What I don't want for her is to burn out. Like I feel like it's so like, and I think that she's sort of getting guardrails around. I feel like her management team just switched recently, and I
Yeah.
think she has new management, which is good.
Yeah.
I hope so. I look forward to the longevity of a career for someone like Chappell Roan.
Same. You know what I
So
also loved that I noticed last night, and I feel like this again, this kind of goes back to the rebranding of this award show and kind of the new way it's getting produced. I like that they're bringing back people who won awards from last year that they televised.
yes, yes,
So it's very like the Oscars, and this is what I've been kind of saying for a while, is that I feel like the Grammys have like been losing their relevancy because they've been trying so hard to be cool and hip, but then also
right,
like, but they're also like doing really weird strategic moves on like who their awards that they're giving. I don't know. It's been strange, but as an award show, as someone who likes to watch award shows, it's nice to be like, oh yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, for like a best new artist category in previous years, someone would win, Esperanza Spalding.
right.
Would she be back the next year? Maybe, maybe not. Right.
Mm,
I think that she was at one point, but then I don't know. Like, it's just that happens a lot. I just feel like you see people invited, they go to the award show once, and then you don't ever really hear from them again.
right.
Or they might reappear like 2, 3, 4 years later on the red carpet, but you never see them in the show. So I like that they're bringing the winners back while also inviting like, divas and all the people we want to see. It's I thought it was very
No,
well
for
done.
sure, because I feel like you have to bridge the gap at some point because you've got to keep everybody invested, and it's
Yeah.
for all of the people that I see for every award show, and I think this is my biggest peeve when it comes to award shows, when people online are just like, "Well, I guess I must be old because I don't know who any of these people are." I Nothing annoys me more than seeing that. And I'm just like, the you not keeping up with current music and culture is not the flex that you think it is.
Right.
And it's just so strange that people are so willing to admit and be like, I have no idea what the kids are listening to. And I'm like, Jessica, you're 37. Like, I need you to get it together. Like, you're not
Right.
old.
You're not, I was going to say, you're not that old. And it's
Right.
like, there are people younger than me who do that.
Right.
Who
Same. Me.
I,
Same.
right. And I'm just kind of like, come on. Like I get it. Like, maybe it's not your cup of tea. There's a lot of music right now that's not my cup of tea.
Same.
But I know at least who people are. I've heard some of their songs.
Make an effort.
Yeah.
And
Like,
just know it keeps us better connected as people.
yeah. I'm just like, don't you have any sort of curiosity? It's like, I don't know.
Right.
Like I guess it kind of reminds me of those types of people who are like, they'll be like, oh, I like music, but like, I just don't know who sings it.
Right.
Like,
Right.
or whatever. Or they're like, I listen to the radio, but like, I never like know who the artist is. And I'm like,
Right.
I don't know what that life's like.
Right.
I am like on my phone. I am looking up every detail. I'm like giving me the
Absolutely.
songwriters,
Right.
producers.
And I don't even need you to do that. I don't
Right.
even need you to do that. But if you're just like, what's a Kendrick Lamar? I'm like, I can't do that with you. Like, I can't. Like, that's too much.
Yeah. And let's
That's too
celebrate
much.
him. I
Like,
mean,
beyond. I was so excited. Not once, twice.
twice.
Right.
Yeah.
I had people in my DMs that were like, what's Drake gonna do now? Sue the Academy?
Literally. Oh my God.
See.
That was really cool. He was not my picks for those for those categories,
Right.
but when I saw him win, not only did it make sense, but it was just such a cool moment to see
Right.
him get his flower. I mean, he's starting to get really Grammy decorated.
Oh yeah.
Like he's got several Grammys under his belt now. I
Yeah.
forget how
And
many.
deservedly so.
Yeah. And I believe he was the sole songwriter on Not Like
Yeah.
Us.
Yeah.
So, and again, back to my point, I've made this point several times, which we'll get to this in a little bit, but like seemingly in the big four, specifically with record, song, and album, the Grammys tend to lean towards artists who have minimal input with creating the songs, meaning like songwriting and production, right? Usually it seems to be the through thread is that like, it's the artist with maybe one or two producers writing the song or writing the album and whatnot. And so when he got Song of the Year, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like,
Right, yeah. And I was so happy, and I saw DJ Mustard was up there too, which is great. I was very happy for him as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, just so exciting, and it just felt like as the awards were being given out that night, everything felt correct.
Everything felt correct, and also it felt like everybody in the room was agreeing in the same way, and also like was excited for other people, that for everybody that was winning.
Yeah, and didn't feel forced.
No,
It
no,
felt like genuinely like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense."
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah, Sabrina Carpenter getting best pop vocal album.
totally. I kind of figured it was going to be her.
I was actually a little surprised. I thought that was going to be Taylor's award.
Oh, I gotta be honest. I did not see her winning any awards last night.
You know, I I truly went into this. I was texting one of my friends yesterday and I was like, I'm actually kind of nervous. I was like, I am going into this completely unsure of who was gonna get. I was like, I truly could make a case for I was pretty certain that it was between Chappell Roan and possibly Raye for Best New Artist.
Yeah.
Um, but for song, record, and album, I truly went into it and I was like, I can see a case for any one of these.
I could totally have seen a case for everyone. My take and why I don't think that Taylor was winning awards last night was
Mhm.
I think that the project mirrored Midnight's too much.
Yeah,
And I think that the team was the same, the songwriters were the same pretty much,
yeah,
and it sonically was very, very much similar, just maybe thematically was different. But
right.
I just couldn't see her picking up and sweeping awards for a project that sounded so much like the last one
Yeah, I
that
agree.
that she won awards for.
Right. I
Yeah,
agree. I completely agree. Yeah. And
I th-
allegedly
I would
social media has been kind of in a blaze about that, but I
whatever.
have
And honestly, I don't care because
yeah,
if anything, I thought she might have won for Fortnite just
right.
with the Post Malone of it all. But I didn't. Other than that, I really didn't imagine that it was going to happen. I was more surprised that Billie didn't win much.
Same.
Yeah,
I thought for sure she had record on the year on lock.
yeah,
I was like birds of a feather. She's a Grammy darling. She's an Oscar darling. Jeez,
right.
like
And the production is phenomenal on her album.
phenomenal. And that song
Yeah,
was kind of like the runaway hit of the album.
yeah.
And
So
so
that surprised me more.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just everything felt right. And even though it wasn't like maybe my first pick when things were kind of getting handed out, first of all, Cowboy Carter getting country award,
I
best country
mean,
album.
I I I kind of thought that they were going to do that because like when they gave her the dance award for Renaissance, I was like, all right, now they'll give her the country award for this. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right, whatever. I was literally doing the exact same thing that Beyonce did when she won album of the year. Like I made
N-
the
a new
the
meme
new
was
meme,
born.
right?
New meme was born.
Immediately I
Um,
was like,
yeah. Yeah. And that was just such a, it's such a good fuck you to the, what was it, CMTs or CMAs
CMAs.
that's completely snubbed her. Like, I don't know what happened throughout the years where people became so hung up on genre, or maybe it's always been that way and I've just been kind of blind to it. But I have always stand artists who play with genre.
Right.
Like our
Yeah, but you,
favorites growing up, Madonna, Janet,
right.
Cher, all like their albums were always so different.
Right.
Or
But
they
you
or
get the establishment that doesn't want that. you
it's
know
crazy.
Record labels are in this to make a profit, so it's like they want more of what seems profitable.
But even with fans, though, like this is what I don't understand is that I feel like something happened over the last 15 to 20 years. And I'm specifically seeing this with Gaga. Like I'm seeing a lot of conversation about her and her single choices with this new album. And a lot of like seemingly fans are like, I want her to have an espresso. I want her to have like a big radio friendly hit. And I was like,
No.
imagine saying that about Bad Romance when it first like got teased at the Alexander McQueen Atlantis show.
Right.
Like, do you understand who you're standing right now? You're
Right.
standing Lady Gaga. Like that is not her thing to do radio friendly espresso like
Right.
songs. I
But
would say
that's
her most radio friendly song I feel like that she's ever put out is probably either
Just
Stupid
Dance.
Lover, Just Dance, but I was gonna say like Rain on Me or Stupid Love
Hmm.
being kind of like
And even
th-
those.
right, like she's never put out anything that's been like on trend.
when she did The Cure as that one single, I was just like, oh, here's a little like,
The Cure. The
yeah,
Cure's her
her
one
one
that
little
there it
reggaeton
was.
inspired bop.
Yes, that
That
was, oh
little
my
sort of
God.
boom
That's
chicka
so,
boom.
yeah, that, well, that was terrible.
Sometimes Mariah doesn't have the notes.
You know what? It's a you.
Where my background singers at?
No, you're totally right. The Cure that was her like, I'll do a trendy song.
Right, here you go. Right.
Here it is.
Hmm.
And I like that song, but
I
I think
loved
that
it.
I loved it, but like I think that we were all in agreement that we were like, nah,
It doesn't feel like you.
it doesn't feel like you.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
And so yeah, I mean, speaking of Gaga, I mean, like her just casually dropping Abracadabra in the middle of
So
the award show.
I didn't know what was happening, like most of us, and so as soon as it started and I looked up, I was like, okay. I was like, what is this? I was like, oh, I said, it's a new. She must be teasing something. I was like, what is this? What is this? And then as it went on for so long, I was like, are we getting a full music video? What is happening?
I was just I was like because I remember again online rumors circulating that she was going to be releasing a new music video during the Grammys, and then it kind of switched as it was getting closer where people were like, oh, it's just a commercial. So
Oh,
I was like, oh, it's going to be a commercial that uses maybe a snippet of the song. I was like, so I was kind of, so I had
like
my
what SZA did. SZA did this with Mastercard for the last one.
yeah. So I kind of was just like, oh, like it's not going to actually happen. And I was like, it'll come at a later date and that's fine. So I kind of just let that go. So like you, like I was
Right,
just like, oh my God, like she gave us a full music video. And then of course, like everyone we were like, where is it?
right.
It, it, it felt like the Super Bowl last year all over again. We were like,
Brian immediately grabbed his phone and
oh
was
my
like, I need
God.
it
Like we were
now.
like, give it to us.
Unbelievable.
I need it
I
now.
love
Yeah.
it.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good. So something very homophobic happened to me this morning. So I was so excited when I finally got home last night. First of all, I loved the Grammys, but like, wow, it went late last night. So
Mhm.
like I was up very late, past my bedtime. And so I'm driving home last night and I was like listening to the song and I was like, I cannot wait to listen to this with headphones on. So I was like all excited and I was like, I am going to go to the gym in the morning and I will probably just be playing the song on repeat the
Mhm.
entire time and getting my best life. So I get to the gym this morning. I'm so excited. I put my headphones in and as I'm walking up the stairs and nothing connects.
Boop boop.
Boop, 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 boop. I was like, excuse me, I had it charging all night.
Oh.
My AirPods are completely dead. So I
Like they haven't worked since?
haven't worked since. I've been trying
Stop
to
it.
charge them all morning. Yeah. I was like, this is homophobia
It
right
is.
now.
It is. It is. It is.
Yeah.
Only at this time. Only in this, under this administration.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Right.
So I was
Coincidence? No.
just like, not in 2025.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. This is part of Project 2025.
It literally is. They said AirPods dead.
That's it. Take them away from the F slurs.
Category is AirPods or die.
I love that red look from the video. Oh my God.
The video is everything.
It really is.
She apparently she directed it with Paris Goebel and some, I shouldn't say some woman, but another woman named Bethany. Some woman named Bethany.
That's my new drag persona. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage some woman named Bethany.
My apologies to you, Bethany. Oh my God, just
It's hilarious.
wild. But wow, but like incredible.
Well, and also one of the dancers in the music video, Honey Balenciaga, also from the Renaissance tour.
Shout out to you, Honey. We love that.
To see. And also Brian Friedman is one of the dancers in there as well.
Is he?
Yes,
Oh
very
my
famously
God.
from the Britney Spears dynasty.
I have to say, like, I'm so grateful that Gaga has a new choreographer in Paris Goebel.
Paris should just do everything. She's just unbelievable.
Her
But yes.
ability to, because Paris has, I feel like on one hand, she's very, I was going to say she has like a signature type of movement in a way, but at the same time, it's so fresh
Mm.
and she's able to kind of mimic what other artists seem to enjoy. So, because last night felt like very classic Gaga choreography,
Right.
but it was chaotic yet reeled in a little bit in all the best ways.
Yes.
You know?
Paris to me is always very, very good with the wide shots with lots of people in them. Like
Yes.
when there's a lot of things happening at the same time, I feel like
Yep.
that's where she really shines. Like because you can always get people to do the same sort of dance and do whatever, but like she's so good at making sense of like 75 dancers in one shot all having their own sort of thing happening on screen.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really sort of what shines around Gaga in the video, because the part that I love, I put it in my story, but the part that I love is when she's like sitting down and it keeps like flashing from like red to white outfits for like 30 seconds. That
Same.
that whole 30 seconds, I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god."
I'm gonna go on record and say I've never seen her dance or move better in a
Right.
music
In a
video.
minute. In a minute. It's been a
I,
minute.
I would say, like, don't get me wrong, Bad Romance choreography is iconic.
Of
Don't get me
course.
wrong. But this video, I truly have never seen Lady Gaga move and dance and nail it in this way.
Yeah.
It
With
was
such intensity.
intensity and just like, and this is, I think, again, a testament to the choreographer for knowing how she moves, knowing what
Right.
her style is like, and being able to help her hit all of those things while also kind of like reeling in a bit. Sorry to this man, Richie Jackson, but like I felt like his choreography is just so all over the place and didn't
Mm.
know when to kind of like scale back for a second.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
saw that with the choreography for JoJo Siwa. I mean,
Oh yeah. That was
yeah,
wow, that was last year.
that was last year.
Wow.
It certainly was. Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what? I mean, it had its moment for being chaotic and
It
the
did.
that like whole thing.
And don't get me wrong, I don't hate the song. I never hated the song.
Oh, it's an incredible song.
Right,
It's
right.
a total bop. It's a
Right.
total bop.
Yeah.
But yeah, I Abracadabra and it's one of those songs where when I first listened to it, I mean, I loved it immediately, but I was like, I don't want this to be a song that like I like it immediately and then I'm like, maybe it's not something I love. I've only grown to love it more and
Same.
more.
Same.
I think it's one of her best singles.
For sure. For
It's
sure.
so good.
Yeah.
And the blend of like, how do I even describe it? Like I was saying last night upon first listen, I was like, it feels like a blend between the old Gaga, aka like Fame Monster, Born This Way era Gaga, blended with like late 90s dance
For sure.
music.
Yeah, because it's got like those pianos that are very sort of like 90s dance
Mm-hmm.
pianos. Yeah, totally.
And there's like a synthesizer kind of laser-esque sound that's
Oh, that
throughout the
like yeah,
song.
the arpeggiator, yeah.
Yeah, that made me think of Gloria Estefan's Gloria album.
Who also looked amazing at the Grammys last night.
I was like, my queen is
I know.
here. Which is crazy because literally, like over the weekend, I went to Grand Rapids has this thing going on right now called World of Winter,
Mhm.
and it's like a big winter festival that's happening all over the city. And there was a drag show right in the middle of downtown that was free that everyone could go to, and so a gaggle of gays and we went, and I'll have more on this in a minute. I have some tea to spill. But where was I going with this? Oh, afterwards we were going out to eat and I was asking everyone who their favorite divas were and everything like that. And I was like, you know who I just feel like no one ever talks about is Gloria Estefan.
Forever spreading the gospel, and I love it.
Got to.
Got to.
Yeah. And they're always like conga. And I was like, yes, conga. We love conga. But I was like, let me tell you about Oye.
I know what conga is to Gloria Estefan is what toxic is to Britney Spears.
What's the phrase? Your lips to God's ears or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Like literally, I'm not
It's
even
that.
kidding.
Mhm.
It is that. But yeah, Gaga, thank you for.
Thank you. God, so excited. I can't believe and like a month's time we're about to have a new Gaga album. That's wild.
Wild. I'm so excited.
I
And
cannot wait.
we're going to have apparently, I'm assuming that this is real because I haven't seen anything say otherwise. This album, Mayhem, contains no song that's shorter than like 3 minutes and 16 seconds.
Oh my.
There's a several 4-minute songs. I mean, I'm hard.
Wow. Wow. She heard you. She heard you. She's obviously a listener of the pod.
Listener of the
Right.
pod, very
Right.
huge fan of Homophonic, so we
Right.
want to celebrate that. I mean, I do not want to brag, but I am going to brag. Her manager has liked several of my posts throughout the years, so I have to think. I mean, granted, yes, I tag him, I tag all the celebrities and whatnot, but like, I never expect them to actually engage. Like, again, so I do feel in my heart of hearts that she has seen at least one of my memes before.
Oh, for sure. I think so.
And I'm hoping she knows how much I love her. And like, I think the only thing I've ever dragged is just the telephone, like, continuation.
Well, so then wait, so now we're watching the Grammys, and then Brian turns to me. All of a sudden he goes, and I was like, what? What happened? And he was like, wait a minute. He was like, Gaga and Beyonce are in the same room. I was like, yes. And he's like, Beyonce and Miley are in the same room. I said,
Mm-hmm.
yes. And wait, who was the third one? There was somebody else. I don't remember, but he was just like,
Shakira?
oh, Shakira. Yeah. He's like, and
Yeah.
Shakira and Beyonce are also in the same room. He's like, what if it's a medley of all of her Beyonce's duets? I was like, first of all,
Oh my
I'm
God.
so glad we're married. That's first of
Yeah.
all. Second of
Mm-hmm.
all, I severely doubt that that's going to happen. I was like, and as much as I hate to rain on your parade here, I was like, I really don't think it's going to be a thing. I said, but I had not put that together or even thought of that, and I love that you did. But oh my God, I was like, I cannot even. What would be the context if Shakira and Beyonce just decided to do "Beautiful Liar" in the
Right.
middle of the
Yeah.
2025 Grammys?
I mean, I literally said, as Shakira was performing, I said Beyonce has the opportunity to do something really incredible right now.
Really incredible.
Just like, really just jump in there and be like, wait a minute. Because when
Right.
Shakira did her like little hand and with her hair in between her arms
Right.
thing, I was like, there it is, Beautiful Liar.
And she
But
she just comes out and she's like, hold on, how's it go again? Boom.
boom. And there was a shot, and I think it was when Beyonce won, spoiler alert, Beyonce won Album of the Year. When she won, there was a pan shot where she was seated next to Gaga. Like, I think their tables were like very close to one another. And I said to my friend Jill, I was like, hello, I was like, if I was right there, I would have been like, where the fuck is the telephone continuation?
You're the seat filler that gets thrown out for saying such a thing.
Exactly. I would be like, the two of you have something explaining to do, like, right now. Like, we're in the same room right now. Let's chit chat. Oh my God. But yeah, I mean, Shakira's performance, incredible. It was also her birthday, so happy birthday, feliz cumpleaños, Shakira.
But like, she's 40. What is it? What did I say?
48.
48. I'm like, at that, the way that belly moves. My God.
It had no lies to be said.
Right. No, a paid actor.
Yeah, a paid actor.
A paid actor, that belly. Like, unbelievable. Like, showed up and showed out.
Unbelievable. And I really want to celebrate the fact that she performed a remixed version of Oh Hossa, that's my favorite Shakira song. That I was not expecting that. And so I was like, wow. I was just like, giving the song flowers. And also so cool too for her to perform these songs completely in Spanish. Like, I just love, again, back to just like all of the broad varieties of music that are out there. Like, incredible.
Well, I'm curious to see how this is going to go in future years now with it moving to, what is it, Hulu and Disney Plus and all that. Now that that's...
Is it?
I believe that that's supposed to be the thing, that after this year, that next year, I think the Grammys goes to... I want to say so. I think we were talking about that last night.
Okay, maybe I missed it. We muted the commercials, or like the part, like... Did he say that like during the broadcast?
I believe so. Wait, Grammys.
Okay, I missed that. We also missed the first 7 minutes of the show.
Yeah, Grammy Awards moving to Disney from CBS in 2027.
Okay, gotcha.
That's
so they got one more year. Yeah.
So I think that when that happens, I'm curious to see, like, not that people are, everybody's going to want to sit through a 7-hour, award show, but if you have the opportunity, like, could you start it earlier and maybe like actually put some of the other awards on television? Like, I would like to see the dance awards be given out on television.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Charli XCX, by the way, for winning Best Dance Recording.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Best Pop Dance, right, for Von Dutch.
Yes, for Von Dutch, and then for Best Dance Electronic for Brett.
Completely deserved.
Right.
incredible. And also best packaged, best recording
Oh
package,
wait, no,
which
no, 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 no. She wait, hold on, no, no, no. She didn't win for. She won Brad for best dance electronic album. Sorry, I'm getting best dance electronic recording was Justice and Tame Impala. Best dance and electronic album was for Brad. That's it.
gotcha. Okay.
They're really confusing the hell out of me.
Right. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. And this is where like another controversial take that I have is that I don't know if the Grammys needs all of these categories. I mean,
there are some that I'm like, what are we doing?
I get, because I get that they are recognizing like recording in all of its forms, right? So it's not just, obviously pop music and rock and rap and Latin and things like that, but they've got, best spoken word album. Yesterday
Right.
they were giving, in the pre-show, they were giving awards for best, what did they call it? Best historical album, and it looked like it was like for re-releases. I was like,
What?
is that? I was like, because what's that Prince album, Pearls and Diamonds?
Oh, Diamonds and Pearls. Yeah, yeah,
Diamonds and Pearls,
yeah.
and that was up for one of them, and I was like, we don't,
Well,
I don't need to be giving out
I,
these types of Grammys.
yeah, I don't know about that, but it's and even like the remake, the best remix recording went to Mark Ronson for Espresso.
Oh, good, love
Yeah,
that. That's
yeah.
a great remix. I love that remix.
It's
Uh,
crazy. Like I look at the category. It's like the Shabuzi remix for David Guetta, Charlie Von Dutch remix with Addison Rae, Doechii, Alter Ego, the Kate Trinata remix, and then there's like one track that's actually from like the dance music community.
oh, really? What was
Yeah.
that? What was that track?
Um, just Alex Anteos and Julian Marley, Nasi's them. I don't even know. I don't even know that song.
Oh, sorry to them.
Sorry. Sorry to
Sorry.
everybody else in the category, but
I
yeah.
mean, I will say, like, speaking of Charlie, though, I really wanted this. I'm thrilled that Cowboy Carter got Album of the Year, and we'll talk about that in a second. But like, I did want to see her get a televised Grammy,
Yeah.
just because Charlie really had. I mean, she's been very open about how she's had a tough time in the industry. Right? She's been in this game for a very long time.
Hmm.
Thankfully, she finally got some mainstream recognition with Brat. I mean, the brilliance of it all. The
Right.
world's catching up to her brilliance, so it would have been really cool to see her get a televised Grammy, of some sort. And I guess that's maybe what I wanted. It's not necessarily that I needed her to win Album of the Year or record or whatnot, but like I would have loved to have seen her get best pop dance recording. They should
For sure.
put that. They should put that one on again, because that's clearly an award for gay people.
Right, but even still, like even if it's not, like it would be nice to have like there's no real representation for the dance music community in the Grammys, and it's a absolutely massive market,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know? So
right.
it's like these guys are doing numbers and it's I don't know, it just feels weird to not have them represented. Like I know it's mostly pop music, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I will say, from a production standpoint too, they need to be better about that as well, because like as soon as when you see what's getting televised that day, you kind of know, oh, they're televising that because they're going to give it to someone big.
Well, right, but not even that. But it's also like I look at the Grammys the same way I looked at being a wedding DJ. You know, when you go to an event and you're the first people that you set up on the dance floor are usually the older crowd, and
Yeah.
it's so you kind of like get them, keep them involved. They tend to leave early, so it's like you want to get them in the front of the show and whatever, and kind of take care of them. In the same way, I feel like the Grammys could do like the jazz stuff and like all of these other like traditional pop and whatever, like all of that I think should go in the first, and if you want to join and see, you can see, and
Yeah.
leading up to the dance and everything else, and kind of like a progression of energy, like, and just really think it through. It just, I don't know. I hope that
Yeah.
that's what happens when it moves.
Yeah, because they do stream the pre-show live on like YouTube, but it's like a 3-4 hour show.
Right.
It is a long time. And
Well,
so
because I feel like there's not as much production,
you're right. Yeah. There's
like I feel like if it's thought through with some intentionality, it could be something more, but
absolutely. Yeah. Show us. I will say, I feel like the amount of performances last night was perfect.
mhm,
There was a period of time where I feel like they were just focusing on performances and they were like giving out almost no awards,
right.
which is like cool. I get it. We want to be entertained, but some of the performance choices were just so. It just felt like so much, because I hate when award shows go from performance A to performance B to performance C. There was a little bit of that last night,
Right.
but I think they did it well. Um, Whereas like when award shows do that, like top to bottom, start to finish, that it just gets to be a little bit much, because then that's where you're like, wait, who performed? Like, what happened?
Right.
I feel like they did that in like the 2020 and or 2021 Grammys.
Well, and I feel like at least like if it's going to be a longer show, like we said, how they did the best new artist was great. Do it with maybe some of the other big ones. Like obviously you can't do it for an album one, but like maybe record of the year or song of the year or like one of the and like have the big artists come by and actually do these performances and like make it like an event,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
A little like Hunger Games moment.
Well, not even, but I mean, like they would do that all the time in award shows. I feel like back in the day, like at least with
Yeah.
the Oscars, and they would do all the Oscar songs, and
Right.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
think that there's a cool way to do it,
Yeah.
but
Absolutely. But I
seriously, a
mean,
great. I really, really, I hope that whoever, because obviously whoever did the Grammys is listening to this.
yeah.
Um, the production team, bravo, like really bravo. Shout out to
Yeah.
all of the producers that are calling the camera shots. Like shout out to all the techs, everybody that's doing it. It really, that takes a massive amount to make happen, and it was phenomenal. So I look forward to learning about whoever that was.
Yeah. They did an
Excellent.
incredible job. And we obviously then now have to mention or talk about Beyonce finally winning Album of the Year.
Girl. And
Finally.
I am glad that it happened. I'm glad that it finally happened. I actually, as much as I love Cowboy Carter, and it was my favorite album, I think, of last year,
Yeah.
I'm still surprised that it's this album of
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce's that won Album of the Year. So yes, love, so happy, so deserved, over deserved, but
Yeah.
surprised because it easily could have been Renaissance. It easily could have been Lemonade. It probably should have been Lemonade.
It should have been Lemonade.
It should have been Lemonade. Like it should have been Lemonade. Like let's be honest, but
It really should have been Lemonade.
right.
Lemonade was that bitch. I
Oh my
mean,
god.
it was, and it was. I mean, Beyonce's been stepping into her own lane for quite some time, and I think that Four really kicked that off.
Yeah.
Because that's when she parted ways with her dad,
Mhm.
as far as like management goes, and then the self-titled album really was like kind of the first project she released.
I feel like it
Outside of that,
was yeah, it was that was the project where she figured out what was possible.
yep. And decided to do a visual album with each album. And then Lemonade was the first one to do a full length, basically film,
Right.
encompassing all of the songs and
Mhm.
telling a story through her album visually. And I know that the Grammys aren't a visual medium, but like to do that in conjunction with your album. And then that album itself, I mean, talk about defying genres. Like,
Oh, but there
you've
is a
got
Grammy for best music video, isn't there? Yeah, yeah,
um
yeah, yeah. Kendrick won for Not Like Us for the best music video last night.
yeah, and then I feel like also there's a best long form
Oh
video
yeah.
as well, which I believe goes to, I'm assuming, things like Lemonade or things like maybe it's concert films and things like
Right.
that. But so yeah, I do feel like Lemonade should have been her first album of the year. But and then I feel like Renaissance also should get an album of the year. But you know what? I'm happy it happened.
Absolutely.
Happy it
Absolutely.
happened.
Yeah.
And I do feel like Cowboy Carter, I mean, there's been a lot of talk about Cowboy Carter. Obviously, there's all the criticism. Is it a country album? Is it not? I'm not interested in that conversation anymore. But I will say, a lot of people are like, it's a good album. It's just not one that I revisit a lot, which I was like, that's fair. I was like, maybe it's not in some of the genres that you particularly enjoy. But the more I listen to it, the more I hear all of the textures, all of the craftsmanship or musicianship that goes into it, and then knowing all of the history that has been inserted into this project. I
Mhm.
mean, again, this album has been in the works for at least 5-6 years. It was
Oh yeah.
after that CMA performance.
Right.
So, I mean, it's insane.
It really is. It really, really is. And
And
like I
it's
said, I can't wait to see how she's going to make this all work on stage.
and Mama said I'm going to go on tour.
Right. I'm
She's
like, girl, we don't have money for this.
we don't. Someone tweeted, but Beyonce, the tariffs.
Right.
And I was
But
like,
seriously.
yeah, I was like, I don't have the money. I would love to go. I signed up for the pre-sale to see like what that's going to look
Yeah.
like. It also looks like it's going to be a smaller tour. It's
Yeah.
going
It's
to
only a few
be,
cities.
only a few cities, looks like more like a mini residency type of thing,
Yeah,
which makes sense with this album.
totally.
Makes sense with this album because it is an album that, again, it is very, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Polarizing,
Yeah.
right? And
Well,
so
it's for the culture,
yeah,
you know.
it is for the culture. I'm very curious what that set list is going to be.
Dear God, I don't. I you know what? Like, I almost want her to lean in and like take some of her like bigger hits and make them country and
Oh
like
yeah,
really make them eat it.
absolutely. I mean,
You
I
know?
definitely think we're going to see Daddy Lessons brought back.
Oh God, I hope so. Oh,
I
it's
feel
so
like
good.
didn't she do like uh oh my gosh, what's the Latin country? What is that called?
The la-
Norteña or
I don't.
something like that?
I don't even know.
There is like a Spanish, like a Hispanic Mexican version of country music, and I forget the genre name, but I want to say that she did Irreplaceable, the Spanish version of Irreplaceable. I want to say that there's a remix of that in
Oh,
that style.
probably.
And so I was like, do that. Do
Right,
it
right,
after,
right, right.
like, do it after flamenco or before flamenco.
If I get to say if she does that, oh my God, I would be so excited. You have no idea. I
I
really like
I
flamenco and
want to
daughter.
sit down and maybe even do an episode, right?
Uh,
Like just go through an episode and just like talk about what the set list could be, like all of the possibilities.
it is such a big catalog.
Huge catalog. I mean, I think that it's going to be a given that she's going to the main focus will be Cowboy Carter,
Oh, for sure.
given Renaissance, right? So I'm thinking that but she'll definitely throw in some deep cuts and some hits, and so I'm very curious as to what those will be.
Yeah.
And will she do like the opening act thing again? Like how she opened for herself with the ballads? Like
Right, 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 right.
will she do that? But like maybe she'll do like a mini condensed version of Renaissance and do like 5 songs from Renaissance as like
Well,
the opening
but
act.
that's what I'm kind of curious about because I'm like, these are two very, very different albums to try to bridge the gap with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like outside of that bing, that noise that's on both albums. Like I don't know how else you're like where this all kind of goes together. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't
Uh
know. I don't know. Because and it's so crazy now because even like when I hear Crazy in Love or just anything from like that part of Beyonce's career, like it just doesn't even seem like the same artist anymore.
yeah.
You know, because like like I'm thinking of like a Cowboy Carter thing. Like the idea of her doing Crazy in Love on this tour seems strange to me.
It does. Yeah, it does. And I love that she's gotten to a place where she doesn't often do a lot of her huge hits.
Yeah,
Like she hasn't done Irreplaceable live in a very
right,
long time. She hasn't done Single Ladies live in a very long time. I love that about her. I
right.
love that any artist that does that. I mean, Madonna does that. Kylie Minogue does that. They're
Hmm.
like, I've got a big enough catalog where I don't need to lean in on all of the fan favorites. Or sorry, I take that back. All the big hits that
Right,
the general
right, right.
public knows.
Yeah.
And they do lean into the fan favorites, I should say.
Yeah, no, because I mean, look, you're not proving anything to anybody anymore.
No.
You know?
Yeah. And so, and I mean, Beyonce loves a mashup. She loves a medley. I'm so curious as if she's going to do that
Yeah.
with any of these songs. And I mean, in the Cowboy Carter halftime show, I loved how she mashed up Riverdance with Spaghetti. Like that was really
Hmm.
fun. So, I mean, that was probably, I would say the halftime show gave us a little taste of what to expect.
Right, right.
She's going to bring a marching band.
I hope it's the whole thing. I hope there's a mechanical bull. I hope that she's on the
Oh
mechanical bull. I
my
hope that
God.
right, right. I hope it's the whole thing.
Yeah, I need it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be incredible. So
Oh, the outfits. Girl, your outfit. I can't even imagine what you're going to wear.
I
Please.
I already so when I saw the halftime show, I got it in my head. I was like, if she does this and if I end up going, I know what I'm gonna wear.
I
But I'm
said
not gonna reveal
I
it.
need black and white cow print palazzo pants. That is what I want.
Ooh, I love that.
I want the big like flowy like swishy. That's what I want.
I
I have a
love
pair of
that.
cowboy boots. I'm ready to go, but that's yeah, I want something like that, but
At this World of Winter drag show that I went to, one of the queens performed a medley of Amen, and then it was another song that was not a Beyonce song, but she started with Amen, and her outfit was insane.
Mm.
I wish I took a photo of it because I was like, okay, inspiration for
Yeah.
Cowboy Carter.
Woo.
So yeah, so good. So
Cannot wait.
congratulations, Beyonce, album of the year. Finally.
Finally, well deserved. And look, we were all rooting for you, and it
We
paid
were
off this time.
all rooting for you. Literally, yes. Thank God. I do think the Grammys would have had some explaining to do had it not gone to her last night.
Right. Right.
And it does kind of suck that Jay-Z's speech last year, I was kind of like, oh, now they're gonna like give it to her, like, or there are people who are gonna think that they gave it to her because of that speech, and I don't like that. Like, I'm like,
Well, but I'm looking at the list, and it's also like, I think that there is something that stands out. Like when I look at everybody that was nominated,
mhm.
not that there wasn't that all of these works weren't a cohesive bunch of works, because they all were on their, in their own respective categories, but there is something different about the detailing of Cowboy Carter that stands out to me versus, just a Sabrina Carpenter album, which is, a collection of good pop songs.
Right,
But
yeah,
there's not this big arc and this through line and whatever. Like it's a different type of attention to detail, I think.
completely agree.
So looking at the list, it makes sense. Like the only one that I honestly thought was the variable, I'm like, watch Andre 3000 come out of nowhere and snatch this up with a flute album. And good
I
for her.
and good for her. And
Good for her.
I was going into it like kind of half expecting that. I was like, they're gonna avoid the controversy altogether, and they're gonna give it to Andre 3000,
Right.
and they're just gonna give it to him, and everyone's gonna just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
I went into it last night, and then when I saw that lovely firefighter's face, you knew.
Right. Right.
You knew.
Right.
That was so fucking cool. I was so
cool.
happy.
So
I will
cool.
say I wish her speech was a little bit longer. I was kind of, but
I really don't think she was surprised. I really think she was surprised.
Yeah, I was gonna say she probably didn't act. She was like, it's not gonna happen.
Right.
It's just not gonna happen. So yeah, so cool.
Wild.
One thing that happened before the show that I want to bring up really quick, and I put it in my stories, is the Associated Press. They were doing a pre-show, like red carpet interview thing. This was insane. I was so embarrassed for this woman. Well, she did it to herself. I mean, like, I'm not embarrassed for her, like feeling bad for her. Like, I'm like, what the fuck did you just do? So these two interviewers are interviewing Babyface, Kenneth Babyface Edmonds. We can thank him for so many incredible songs throughout the years. Songwriter, singer, producer, truly an icon. They're interviewing him,
an actual legend,
and one of them stops halfway through and yells, "Chapel, Chapel," and then gets her to come over, and then he's just like mid-answer, just like, and then he's like, don't do that. And he walks away. Good for him. Like, right, I was like, the rudest thing I think I've ever seen on a red carpet. And I want to say that was fucking rude. But I watched that like red carpet for a solid like 2 hours while I was kind of like finishing up some social media stuff.
It was a lot.
But like the worst interviewing that I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was specifically the Associated Press one.
But it was there was so many of these like just, I don't know, just dumb questions. Like, are we still asking everybody, what would you say to a younger artist if you were going to give them advice? Like, why? Like, you've been asking musicians this for my entire lifetime. Like, there's got to be something else that you can get a better soundbite. Like, literally ask them about the project that they are here at the Grammys nominated for.
Yeah.
Like talk about the work. Talk about anything. Let's get some like BTS, whatever. Like just do something. Like it was very, very lazy.
It was.
It felt very like trying to get like a moment, like a TikTok. Like everybody's trying to get like a clip out, like moment that they can use on social media.
Well, specifically with these two interviewers, they just didn't seem to know how to talk to people very well.
Right.
That's what just kind of blew my mind. Is I was just kind of like, you don't sound like you're a journalist right now. You don't sound. It sounds like you were selected. I wouldn't even say like a student of journalism. Like it sounds like this is like you took an elective class and they selected you to go, and like you did not seem prepared.
No,
it was embarrassing. And
well, and that's the thing too, because like if you're telling me that I'm going to be on the red carpet and I'm going to do this, like you know who's going to be there. Literally, the information is being given to you. Like, you know who's arriving. Like, you
Yeah.
know the artists that are showing up. You know who's nominated, who's going to be. You know what I mean? Like, it's you could do literally anything to prepare.
Yeah. Be
You
prepared.
know, and again, and it's when you're dealing with somebody like Babyface, like that's so incredibly rude. Like, and just it makes you look really, really foolish and really like just I don't know.
Yeah.
It was very
Yeah.
bad taste.
They're going to have to take a bow.
Right.
And every time I close my eyes,
Right.
I'm going to think of that moment. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, but is there anything else that we need to cover from this eventful
No, I don't
evening?
think not from the Grammys. I mean, I think it pretty much, like I said, everything felt correct. It went the way that we sort of imagined, and yeah. I mean, like I
I
said, more of this, please. And honestly, also, I do want to say, I love Trevor Noah.
I love Trevor Noah. He's incredible.
I
Like, keep him
love,
hosting as long as possible. We loved
yes,
that. Oh, and I would be remiss if we didn't mention Ms. Diana Ross.
unbelievable,
Incredible. I was
unbelievable.
like,
And see, that's how you greet a legend on stage. I'll just say
"Ye-
that.
can I get a gay men?
Like seeing Kendrick talk about like how excited he was and speechless that Diana Ross had just given, like that.
Diana Ross.
Right.
Who, and this is wild. This is wild, everyone. Get ready. Diana Ross has never won a Grammy Award.
That is insanity.
She has, I believe, a Lifetime Achievement Award now,
Right.
but she herself she's never won for anything. Living legend Diana Ross. Insane.
Right.
Yeah,
It's a wild industry.
it really
really,
is.
really is.
It really is. So, and it just kind of goes back to that conversation of like, are the Grammys relevant? Are they not? The thing is that I think like, yes, they are clearly relevant, and it's very clear that, when your favorites win, it's relevant, right?
Right.
When your favorites don't win, you're like, they're irrelevant, blah, blah, blah. But I will say that, like, awards, chart numbers, sales, these things all mean something, but also nothing at the same time.
Right. They mean something, but they shouldn't mean anything to the general public. They mean the only people that the data should mean anything to are the record labels and the people who have to merchandise the stuff. Like, and that's what, like, you're if you're listening to music via data, you're not doing it right.
Right. Yeah. Because I think it showcases, it's a synopsis of what's like going on in the moment, right? It's going on, you're seeing what are people listening to, what people are buying, where are they going for see their concerts, whatever. But if you are not listening to someone because so and so didn't have a single that streamed 5 billion streams or whatever,
Ridiculous.
like, you need to get some taste, babes.
Right.
Like,
Right. That's
there's a lot.
ridiculous.
Yeah, there's a lot of songs out there that have billions and billions of streams that I would argue maybe don't deserve those. But
Right. That's what I always
whatever.
say. Like, let us not forget that "Who Let the Dogs Out" was nominated for a Grammy.
Was
You
it
know,
really?
yeah, it was. I think it might have actually won too.
What was it, like best dance recording or something like
I
that?
think so. Yeah.
Let's celebrate that.
You know,
Let's celebrate
that's what
that.
I mean. Somewhere the Baha Men once a year are like, that was a good year.
That was a good year. Good year. That was a good year for
It
us.
really was. But that's what I mean. Like, it's so subjective, and it's like just it's the only thing that matters is what's coming out of the speaker.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, John Michael, it's gotten to that time, that
All
iconic
right.
time of the show.
Uh,
We have to discuss songs that we do not talk about enough. Do
you know,
you have a song that we don't talk about enough?
I have a few actually, and you know what? I don't know if I did. No, I don't think I did this one yet. And it's the most random one ever. And I've had it on the list for quite some time, but I opted for others in past episodes.
I love it.
Tis a duet, a really random duet, and was not even like a huge hit or anything, but did.
Oh, when you said "tis a duet," I was like, I've never heard of this person.
Oh.
I was like,
No, sorry, tis. I'm just being stupid. Is a duet. It is a duet. And yeah, I don't even think it was like a hugely like popular hit or anything, but did have a music video, and Coldplay and Rihanna, Princess of China.
oh my God. Yeah.
I love that song so much.
It is good.
That
It was
video.
like, it's been a minute since I've seen it. You're right. It is like, it was like, at the time, it was like it should have been a bigger hit for the two artists that did it and for when it came out.
Right.
It
Because let
should
me
have
say, hold
been.
on. What year is that? I'm like looking this up. See what year this is.
That was what, like 2014-ish, 2013, maybe 2012.
This is 2012. 2012,
2012.
June 2012.
And I want to say it probably peaked somewhere in the 20s of the Hot 100.
I don't even know. I didn't look anything up. I
Yeah.
randomly it came across whatever I was doing some work.
Princess of China.
It's so good. The part, like, there's a whole part where you stole my star, na 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 na, that whole bit. Oh, it's so
Yes.
beautiful. It's so beautiful. You got to watch the music video again because really she looks so good in it. Ugh.
Yeah. I remember, does she have like a long flowing cape? You know, I love a
She
cape.
yeah, she's got capes. They're like jumping in the air. There's like the whole samurai thing. She's got long nails in one scene. Like there's a bunch of different looks. She looks phenomenal, but
Oh my
it's
God.
really really good. And Coldplay is always sort of not hit or miss. They're they're super talented and they're a great band, but
Yeah.
I don't I don't know. I don't always love all of the stuff that they put out because sometimes it's a little samey to me, but
Right.
this
Yeah.
one fantastic. Love,
Not
love. And Chris Martin is so good in the so good.
love that. I
Yeah.
love that. This is not my pick, but I just want to piggyback off of that. And they did a song called Luna, I think,
Oh
with Kylie
yeah.
Minogue.
Yep.
That was like, it was supposed to be for, I want to say, that Viva La Vida album. And it was not on the album. I want to say they released it as like an exclusive single on iTunes for something,
I think you're
but
right.
like I don't think it's on streaming. So it's one of those rare tracks.
Chris
But
Martin, if you're listening,
Chris Martin, put your Kylie song out. Let's
come on.
go.
Chris Martin,
We're
friend of the pod.
friend of the pod. Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod,
Uh,
Chris Martin.
that's right. Also released like the duet version of All Good Things Come to an End with Nelly Furtado while you're at it.
Yes, please.
My selection for songs we didn't talk about enough. I have been going down, and this is like a shock to no one, literal shock to no one. I've been going down a late 90s electronica binge.
Oh,
So
work.
different from my like late 90s like dance remix binge. One, I mean, sure, to the average person, you're probably like, it's all the same. It's not. Very different. And I have been going down. So, and I can thank Eusexua. We need to do an episode about Eusexua.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that. Oh my God.
I know we need to do an episode for Eusexua, but thanks to Eusexua, which is very influenced by like rave culture, but there's a lot of like 90s electronica sounds throughout it. I was like inspired to kind of revisit some of my favorite artists and remixers and whatnot from that era. And I was discovering all of these BT remixes that I never had listened to before. Specifically, there's a song called Run to You by Dina Carroll. I had never heard of her before. And BT and Paul Van Dyke did this sickening remix to this song that is like part house, part breakbeat, part just like this like acid beat. Like it is truly, it takes you on a journey. And when I tell people, because people are always like, you know, kind of rolling their eyes at me when I say that I want songs to be longer and whatnot, but like, or like roll their eyes when I say I love remixes. That's a remix where I'm like, listen to this.
Right,
yes, it's long, but it takes you on this fucking journey. It starts one way, it ends another. The beats are so hard. I would say any Lady Gaga fan that loves Shiza, you're going to love this song. Like, it's just this smashing dance mix that just blew my mind. I've listened to it way too many times in the last week. Like, it's insane.
Have you gotten, do you know BT's mix of Sarah McLachlan's I Love You?
Yes, I love that mix. It's so good.
It's so good.
And the thing with this particular BT mix of Dina Carroll's Run to You, this remix is not on streaming. So I don't know whose dick I need to suck for this, but like, put it on streaming. Okay.
Yeah. I actually only knew her because she did a pop version of a song called The Perfect Year from Andrew Lloyd Webber's Sunset Boulevard and had like a hit with it in like the either late 90s or early 2000s over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like she was like really, really big for a minute with that. And then like that's how I knew her. And then I sort of discovered her. And do you know who Tina Cousins is?
No.
Oh, God. Yeah. She's sort of, they're kind of adjacent. I feel like in voice, they've got a similar voice, but Tina Cousins also did like 90s like Euro trance.
Ooh,
You will love. Oh, there's
I
like
would love that.
Did you listen to the ones that I sent you, by the way?
I did.
You
I
did?
did.
Okay.
I liked oh my gosh, there was an Above and Beyond remix of something, and I don't remember which artist it was, but I loved that. I
Okay.
love Above and Beyond.
That's so good.
Yeah. John Michael's my go-to. Like, he's the only person in the world that will know exactly what I'm talking about when I'm asking for a remix or a particular artist or like a certain type of genre sound that I'm looking for. He always hooks me up.
I
But
definitely have more stuff I have to send you then, because there's
yeah,
there's a lot from there.
love that. Yeah, what a way to end this Grammy episode,
Right.
with this like rare remixes of people that
Throwback.
no one knows.
Amazing.
Amazing. Well, everyone, thank you so much for listening to this episode, this Grammy recap episode of Homophonic. Until next time, take care.
Bye.